her by aggressive police action, and we have not received justice from her situation. And it happened just a few miles from where Sandra Bland was murdered. And this was, I want to say, is it 7 years now? 7 years, right? Yeah.
10 years.
Well, 10 years for your 10 years for your daughter, and 7 years for Sandra Bland.
Yeah.
So it's time. I wonder if you could please just come up and address us about what your crusade, what your journey has been like, please.
Absolutely. So hi everyone. Blessings.
Would you like me to record you? If you want to pull it up.
Blessings everyone. My name is Ishtime Robinson, and I am the founder of Every Case Matters, which is a global foundation that fights for justice for all lives stolen by law enforcement and multiple forms of violence. 12 years ago, actually, my daughter, Aja Dixon, was murdered 68 miles from where Sandra Bland was murdered. She was a student at Navarro Community College, and she was partying the night before her murder. She was actually picked up by law enforcement. She was in custody about the same amount of time Sandra Bland was in custody, 4 hours, and she was murdered. So, the reason why I started Every Case Matters is because unless these cases get publicity, unless the cameras show up and the media shows up, it's very, very difficult for the families to get any kind of justice. If the media doesn't show up, believe it or not, the names are not amplified. And if the names are not amplified, it's an uphill battle for the families to even get the case into court. And 9 times out of 10, when we do get the cases into court, we don't even win anyway. So my frustration came when I traveled across the country, and all I was hearing was the high-profile cases, that's what we call them. But there's no solidarity among my people to fight for all cases. So I wanted to change that narrative, and that's why I started Every Case Matters. And Every Case Matters, basically, even though I'm amplifying Aja's name today, I'm doing that because she was murdered in Dallas. She was murdered in Corsicana. I'm only doing that because she was murdered in Corsicana. But I rarely amplify her name. I amplify Every Case Matters. And that is because, as we just saw, 90 shots. Well, who, Jalen Walker? About 2 weeks ago? The murders have continued. This was 12 years ago with Aja, and 7 years with Sandra. And it has not slowed down. And the only way it's going to stop is if we link these cases. And if we charge the U.S. government with genocide, because that's what this is. It doesn't matter what the narrative is. The objective is the same, to kill our people. And law enforcement is getting away with it because what we are doing is focusing on individual names. That is not the answer. In the Holocaust, nobody fought for David or Susan or Mary. It was eradicate what? The Holocaust.
Yes.
Eradicate the Holocaust. And so we have to do the same thing today. We have to basically say to the U.S. government, we want all these cases linked. Mm-hmm. We want really you to stop this narrative upon our people. Pull your bully cops off the street and start killing our people. Mm-hmm. All of our people. It doesn't matter what the narrative is. It doesn't matter if they were running, if they were in jail, if they were in a car, if they were asleep, if they were in a bar. Who cares? The bottom line is all of us are being murdered. Is that not the case?
Yes.
Is that not the case? Yes. And we can't stop the murders. We can't keep up with the names. And so many of us have become anesthetized. So what I wanted to do today, in the midst of Brother Hassan, who has been powerful, and Sister Kwete, who's been like family, is come because Aja's birthday is coming up August 7th, and this is the 12th year. And I'm normally all over the world, but I'm here in Dallas. I wanted to come by, just stop by, reach you guys, and ask you to sign the petition that I will email to you. I want you to sign the board here or the board there with the name of a woman or a loved one that you know has been murdered. Put your contact information down. I will email you our petition. We have 500,000 signatures on our petition so far to charge the U.S. government with genocide. and to hold law enforcement accountable for all lives lost while in custody or contact. Just like Sandra Bland, she was in contact with law enforcement. You know Sandra Bland was murdered before she got to the jail. I hope y'all know that. It's the same with Aja. She was in contact with law enforcement and she was murdered. The same narrative they gave for Sandra Bland, they gave for Aja. She died of a heart attack until we saw her body. They wouldn't even release the autopsy report. And so I basically want you to sign this petition. We have a chapter here in Dallas. Our chapter director is here, Dr. Pat Stevens. Raise your hand, Dr. Pat. She is like a warrior in Dallas. I'm not from Dallas, but I got some good people around me who are warriors here. She is our chapter director, and so she's going to be running the chapter here in Dallas. And basically what we want are names of families who have lost loved ones who haven't received any justice. Because we want to help these families. You know, the families, once we lose a loved one, everything falls apart. Our money dries up. The siblings are left devastated. Many of them cannot move forward. You know, all of us have the same story. A lot of the moms come home, so we want to help the families. Not just the high-profile cases. We're not talking about, you know, everybody is suffering. But we want to help everyone whose name has not been amplified to let them know they are loved also, and they matter. So before you leave, I have a board over here. You can sign that board. You know, put the name of a woman or a loved one on that board and your contact information. And Sister Quayson, I will make sure that you get the petition. Dr. Pat, would you like to come up and say something about the chapter here? She's doing some phenomenal work in Dallas. She feeds the homeless. She feeds her church community. She does a toy drive. She does everything. She's a jack of all trades. Working with us. She runs a community center. She does everything. And so she is your point person. She's your point person. She's going to also reach out to you and tell you how to get in touch with her to share names of family members who've lost loved ones who have not received justice and are suffering. Those are the people that we want to help, okay? Dr. Pat.
All right, my name is Dr. Pat Stevens, and I am a native of Dallas, Texas.
I share.
Born in, as they call it, Short North Dallas, Thomason Hall, and moved to West Dallas when I was 3 years old, so I've been there ever since. Okay, to make the story short, I had a grandson back in 2011 get killed by the police, and no justice has ever been done. The police told us that they fired the officer. Come to find out, he's still on the force and has gotten several recommendations of accommodations, you know, for good behavior and all of this here. But one day, let me show you how God worked. I was at church one day, and they said, someone here to see you. I said, see me? So it was Miss Ishtime. She had heard about me fighting for my grandson's case. And she said, when I heard about you, she said, I had to come to meet you. Just like Ishtime said, if you don't get the media coverage, your case is not a high profile case. So we need to stop that. Every person that has been a victim needs to be recognized.
That's right.
We ended up with the wrong lawyer. The lawyer told us, don't go before the media, don't do this, don't do that.
So yeah.
So we didn't know. So we just followed his, instructions. And bottom line, he said, oh, I can't take your case. Okay, so that left us high and dry trying to find somebody. So when we did find somebody, the young man that was with my grandson, he wouldn't testify. He was the only witness. So they done got to him too. So, but once I talked to Ishtime, and she talked to me about getting a Dallas chapter here. So we started it, and what we want the community to rally around our Dallas chapter and support it and be our legs, eyes, ears, whatever. And when cases come forward, notify me, and then we get on that case. We got Ben Crump You know, you see all of them on TV representing
Yes.
these people, you know. And the other guy that ran for our district attorney, Lee Merritt, you know. You see those cases. Those are big profile cases. And to give you an example, one case, Botham John was a member of my church, and he got killed by Amber Geiger. They are still fighting that case till today. So it's like if you don't have these high-profile lawyers, you're not going to get anywhere. So, but the more people that is supporting a case, they will hear us. This petition, we're trying to get it to Washington, D.C., to where that the Department of Justice can look at it and say, hey, it's time for us to get up and help these people. So that's all I wanted to say today. I thank you all for listening to us. And my telephone number, I'll stay right here a few minutes. My telephone number is 214, it's real easy, 500-1106, okay? So Pat Stevens, call me Dr. Pat, Miss Pat, whatever, I'll answer to any of it, okay? But let's get together in Dallas and rally around and help support these families that are in desperate need of justice. Thank you.
Could you report, could you read?
214-500-1106.
And Sister Quete will have all of your information
Yes.
as well. Now, tell me one thing before you leave. I'm assuming that you may have been keeping up with Tatiana's case in Fort Worth. Is that police officer, is there still a trial going on?
There's still a trial going on. They delayed the trial.
They delayed it.
They postponed the trial. They keep on moving it and moving it, so,
Continuance.
yeah,
Let's call it a continuance.
yeah. So it's they doing it for a reason. They got a reason for doing it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you this, we have a number of folks that come here for our drum circle, and as I mentioned, this is really about healing, this is about therapy. We have folks whose children were victims of violence.
Right.
All right, whether it's police officers or domestic abuse, you know, or just what we call community violence, you know, disillusional, angry, aggressive young people striking out against other young people.
Right.
And the cemeteries are full of them. You know, so we thank you for being a part of this. I want you to sit down and play some drums with us for a while.
I will.
Try to elevate your spirit, get some therapy.
Let me say this here. Another abuse that we haven't been thinking about is human trafficking. That is on the rise, has been on the rise, and we need to do what we can do to stop that. It's really, you know, they don't care whether it's girl, boys, old, young. They don't care. If they can make some money off of you, they will grab you. And these young girls, like I got my great grands here, they targeting those young ones. You know, where they can have them the longest.
And a lot of them are just coming up missing.
Exactly, it's coming up missing. You don't know where they are. Right.
Were
All
you
right.
living in Short North Dallas when Michael Moore was murdered?
She might not have known about Michael Moore. Wait, you actually came up in West Dallas.
I came up in West Dallas. I
Are you
lived there when I was
are you
3.
Pinkston?
I'm Pinkston, 67, class of 67.
Oh, okay.
I just had a birthday, July the 5th. I turned 73 years old. And my grandson that got murdered, his birthday was July the 11th, and he turned 38 years old. Yeah. So God is good. That's all I can say.
What's his name?
His name is Cedric Stevens, Stephenens. Yes, sir.
Are you looking at cases where, like my nephew was killed on the street? It wasn't by law enforcement, but the case was unsolved. Do you have any insight in the cases such as that?
We're going to try to handle all cases. We wanna handle
To
all
help
of them,
about violence.
all violence, yes.
Okay.
Multiple forms of violence, domestic violence as well. The main thing is to get the healing and the support services to the families, so that we don't see a domino effect of murders and lives lost within the family systems. That's the issue, because more lives will be lost if these families don't get any kind of real intervention and support, because they're suffering in silence. And we need you, we need our communities to love on these families, because they're hurting.
Have you guys connected with, crime survivors for safety and justice?
I'm
The
sure we
Dallas
have.
chapter?
I'm sure we have, because we have a team out of DC, and we have 500,000 signatures.
Okay,
And that petition has gone out globally. We're shooting for 1 million.
okay,
But any information, please share with us.
Share it with
Reach out
us.
to us,
okay.
please.
Okay. Thank
And you
you.
can also reach me at Ishtime Robinson, 201-892-5848. Dr. Stevens has my contact information too.
And Equate will have all the
Yeah,
information
but
as
she's a
well.
point person here for that.
This is the resource center.
God bless you.
Thank you.
All right, thank y'all. Let's have a drum roll. Okay, one thing that we always want to do is prepare ourselves with the remembrance of those who have passed on. May I use this water? So we have water here to represents the replenishing of the earth. So earth and everyone on it cannot exist without water. So, in remembrance of those who have passed on, and to honor the best of ourselves from their lives, and their experience has elevated us, because once we learn about lives lost, we see that those lives lost have been of value, and we want to honor their spirit continuously. As long as we call out their name, they will live within us, their spirit. So, as we call out the names, we say, Omi Tutu, may this water be cool and refreshing. Ile Tutu, may our homes, may our dwellings be cool and refreshing. Una Tutu, may our road, may our path be cool and refreshing. Tutu Le Royer, may a calm messenger precede all of our prayers. I pour a libation in honor of the untold millions who perished during the slave trade, who were kidnapped from the shores of Africa. Ibaye, say Ibaye. Ibaye. I want to honor the spirits of those who have died during the horrible infestation of drugs all around our communities. Ibaye. Ibaye. I want to honor all of those who were victims of violence by police, by ourselves, by domestic abuse. Ibaye. Ibaye. I want to call out each time your daughter, say her full name.
Aja Monique Diana Dixon.
Aja Monique Diana
Dixon.
Dixon. Ibaye. Ibaye. Tatiana Ferguson. Ibaye. Ibaye. Sandra Bland. Ibaye. Ibaye. I want to call out the name of our beloved sister, Afia Bey. Ibaye. Ibaye. Her two sons. Ibaye. Ibaye. Of course, brother who sacrificed so much for us to achieve whatever we can in this life, Brother Malcolm X. Ibaye. Ibaye. Call out the name of Dr. Martin Luther King. Ibaye. Ibaye. I want to call out the name of Winnie Mandela. Ibaye. And all of those who have sacrificed their lives so we can progress and be stronger as a black nation. Ibaye, Ibaye, Ibaye.
Cedric Stevens.
Cedric Stevens, Ibaye. Call out some names of your loved ones,
Yes.
please.
Richard Earl Slicker Sr. Ibaye.
Ibaye.
Gloria Richardson.
Gloria Richardson, Ibaye.
Mahogany Johnson. Mahogany Johnson.
Mahogany
Ibaye.
Johnson, Ibaye.
Tyree Souls.
Tyreek Souls, Ibaye.
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 John Henry Blunt II.
Ibaye. The Honorable Johnson. Ibaye.
Yes.
The homie queens.
The homie queens, Ibaye.
Ibaye. Lois White Johnson. Ibaye.
Ibaye.
Clarence Stiggers. Ibaye.
Ibaye.
Other family members.
Lorraine
Yes.
Christian.
Lorraine. Ibaye.
Yes. Those who we have loved and have ascended to the next level of glory, we continuously call out their names. When we call out their names to the universe continuously, they are still alive. They are not with us in the flesh, but they are with us in the spirit. And they are part of us, and they will be part of us forever.
Yes.
Ashe.
Ashe. Ashe.
Ashe.
Ashe.
Okay, let's go. She's with us during this drum circle. Put her right here. Okay, everybody loosen up, please. I want to thank y'all for coming out and being a part of this. We are supporting these sisters spiritually and actually supporting ourselves, because everybody has someone who has transcended, and we want to just make certain that we recognize them. You look at all of these folks on the walls, most of them, well, with the exception of Tina, who is still strong and she's still singing. But
Obama.
everyone, and Obama, where's
Over there.
Okay. Oh yeah, Brother Obama. Yes. Okay. But just about everyone else has moved on. So we want to continuously honor everyone that's on these walls and everybody who we study, who has had enriched our lives. So, and teach the children as well about them. Okay, everyone, just please stretch a little bit, because we're about to play and we do not want to be tight.
Yeah, we stretched with
Y'all stretched a little? Yeah, we did. We did stretch it. Okay. All right. We are working with two sounds, with two tones. The deepest sound on the drums that we have is called the bass. And we did that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Wonderful.
We ready for some tones. You ready to play?
Easy. Okay, we already had our warm-up. There's a few folks that came in. Okay, so here's our pattern. We want to work with a spiritually fulfilling pattern. It's going to be relatively easy, but the difficult part is everybody locking in, everybody working together on the same pulse. This is the feeling of spiritual unity and elevation. And this is what is therapy for all of us. I want us to breathe. You know, if you don't know anything about yoga, if you don't know anything about meditation, at least have some of this in your life.
Yes.
Because these are some times where we want to try to alleviate and resist all stress and all anxieties. Ashe?
Ashe.
So we have our tones. Let me have the tones again. Right in the center, we have our bass, two hands. All right there, very good. Oh, I'm so glad y'all are nice and warmed up already. So let's work with my favorite warm-up rhythms to help us to reach this pulse that I'm talking about, is what I call a 2-4 or 4-6. Let's start off with that. A 2-4 pattern would be 2 tones and 4 bass. Dum 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 dum. Okay, so 2, 1, 2, 4 bass. Dum dum more time. It's gonna sound like this. Listen. Got it? Wait for the break. Here's the break. The break is gonna sound like this.
Yes, I, Rastafari. In the house of Jah.
Yes.
Selassie.
The ancestors are in this space with us right now. Okay, from here, gonna pick it up just a little bit.
Rastafari.
We had a
Rastafari.
1, 2, 3, 4. All we're gonna do now is bass, right? It's 4 beats. It's a progressive hand pattern. Every time you touch the drum, it's with a different hand. So all we're playing is bass, coming in with the bass, right hand. Bass, 3 tones. 1, 2, 3. Listen again. Bass, 1, 2, 3. Ending on the left. Right, left, left. Okay? Try it on your own. Don't That's good, that's great. But now, we all are just reaching for this pulse, okay? This pulse is, so we're here. Or we here. Are we in the Caribbean? Jump up, yes. So we're ding ding, 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 ding ding. Hold on. Wait for the break. The break is on the left. That's it. Everybody else up. start getting tired on me, I'm gonna call you out and say, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? Take a breath. This is your first time here, I'm gonna let you know we go hard. And all of the elders, we ain't gonna take it easy on you. You gonna have to work harder. That'd be some real therapy right there. Okay. Okay, I say I'll go. You say I'll go. We're gonna do one more rhythm, and then we'll see how time allows. Maybe I'll have a 10-minute break. Maybe y'all can get some water or something. I know some of you have to leave, but for right now, how many of you have seen the previews of this new movie about these black warrior queens? I'm trying to think of the name. Somebody call the name.
Woman King. Yeah.
What? Say it again?
Woman King.
The Woman King?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, I can't wait for that. It's gonna be nice. Okay, so in honor of these warrior queens who have always had a prominent role in history, but you just never hear too much about it. But these African women were fierce fighters in defending their country, in defending their villages, in defending their African nation. So we have a rhythm which is the warrior rhythm. Everybody, let me even say Dunumba. Dunumba. Okay, some of us are familiar with the rhythm, but it's the rhythm that calls the warriors to war. It is a rhythm that is designed to pump the adrenaline, that is to bring about the fierce emotion within the fighters, to prepare them psychologically and physically for battle. So we're going to start this rhythm kind of medium tempo, but just keep in mind it's going to build and it's going to get faster, and then we can take a break. Okay, so the Dunumba. I'll give the how you say it again? Dunumba, but the way you say it, Dunumba. Dunumba, yes. But it's actually Dunumba, but say Dunumba. Okay, I'm gonna let you hear what the Doom rhythm sounds like first, and then I'll show everybody the djembe pattern. Matter of fact, I would like for you to play drums along with us.
I may not play nothing.
I might want you to dance. You remember how I did it last time? Remember how I did you last time? I put you on Front Street. Because I love you so much. Okay, come, I want you to play Doom from Dunumba. This is a rhythm you've been playing since you were a child. Everyone else, let's loosen up one more time. What you're playing is tone, tone, bass, tone, tone. And then you start back again. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do that on your own. All right there. You have to have a pause. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's your pause. But then you go right back into the one again. So 1. Take off. I want to make sure that everybody is going to be on beat. Because if there's one person, and God forbid two people could throw the whole rhythm off. So I want to make sure that everybody is rolling in the same plane. Now, the young folks, all I need from many of you, I just need you to hold what we call the running 8 or running 16. You're just your hands are just going. Let me hear you. Loud. Yes. Okay, that's what we need. It's almost like a locomotive. That's good. What you were doing was good. Okay, so now we were here. But keep in mind, when we get to rolling, it might be. And we'll have some dancers out in a moment, which are going to help us. Movement is always a great ascension to the drum rhythm. They are movement and vibration is always going to help us to stay on beat, to stay in the groove, so to speak. But just keep in mind, while you are playing this, it's going to help you. This is like a very intermediate, like an advanced intermediate rhythm. I think everyone can do this. But keep in mind, you have to, if, like Bob said, if you can't feel it, you can't know it. If you can't feel this, then you're not going to know the beat. So help me with. I don't see nobody. I have to see some movement. Okay. We're going to go slow, and then we're going to gradually speed up. Okay, just a little bit. And my heartbeat. Okay, hold on. Darren, let me hear you. honesty. Well, it wasn't too fast for him because he was ready. He said that's a little too slow for him. Okay, so let's do, this is the rhythm. We got the rhythm, but we just need to moderate the tempo so everyone could be on board. So let's go slower. The same thing, boom, boom, heartbeat, boom, boom. You two are linked up. Wait a minute, here's the breakout. Keep going. Boom, boom, okay? Dum, dum, dum.
Out here?
Yeah, no, he's gonna come in. a breath, take a breath.
It's hot.
Everybody to cool off a little
Yeah,
bit.
bring it. That's
We
the
were
part.
like way up here.
You keep
Now
the
it's
one
time
heartbeat
to
going.
come down to earth.
Long
Breathe.
time to go. I have this one from Jamaica.
This was our therapy.
But this one shorter.
Just be silent for a moment. I know that there's some folks out here that have had a stressful week. Some are worrying about family members, worrying about children, worrying about their elderly parents, worrying about your job if you got one. Your supervisor might be giving you stress. You might be the one that's giving your employee stress. I don't know. But whatever the situation is, we come together on Sundays for some healing all the way around. Let's just release some anxiety. I went to see Stephanie dance. Stephanie helps to move.